I didn't have my first kiss until I was 21, and even then it was off a dare. I'm 27, I've never had a boyfriend, like, haven't wanted one, don't want one. But occasionally, I do enjoy dating. Not necessarily particularly for, like, the romantic connection, but because it gives me ample opportunities to be evil to men. In the height of my evil days, I mainly used dating apps because it worked best for this method of dating, which we'll call backward dating. And backward dating, it basically goes like this. You match with someone on a dating app, you're messaging back and forth. Once you exchange numbers, you hit them with a FaceTime. Now, if they think it's weird, they don't answer, they don't call you back, then they're out of the running. You block them and unmatch them and never speak to them again. The FaceTime date basically serves the purpose of saving my time. Rather than going and like meeting up with all of these men and like spending time getting ready and like going and getting drinks with all of these men, like I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I'm going to weed them out early. So if the FaceTime date like didn't go well, whether I answer the call and they're just like way uglier than their profile, or they say something weird, or like they're just kind of like off-putting in general, even if it's mid-call, sometimes I'll just hang up, unmatch them, and never speak to them again. Now, only like 20-25% made it through to my next round of backward dating, which was having them over to my apartment to have a taxidermy weasel tea party, where we would literally chain smoke bodega joints and drink tea with my taxidermy weasels in a circle on my bed. A lot of guys were actually really disappointed when they came over to the taxidermy weasel tea party because they always thought it was some like weird girl innuendo for sex, and I was like, no, we're legit having a taxidermy weasel tea party for our second date. That weeded out about half that crowd, and the ones that stuck around after the initial taxidermy weasel tea party, basically I would just keep having them over to do the same thing until I felt comfortable advancing them to the fourth and final round of backward dating, which was going on a public date. Only 2 men in history have made it to the final round of backward dating. You might be saying to yourself, chicken pot pie lover 69, this method of dating doesn't sound all that evil. And it's not the method itself that's evil, but it's the strategies in which I deploy while pursuing this method of dating. I run a strict program, okay? Just the other week, I blocked a potential suitor because he sent me a fit pic of what he was wearing out to the bars that night, and he was wearing khakis. So I blocked him, unmatched him, and don't plan on ever speaking to him again. I can't tell you how many times I answered that initial FaceTime call to an ugly man and just hung up and blocked them, unmatched them, and never spoke to them again.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna let her finish. But I got one question for this young lady. Who hurt you? Anyway, let's continue.
I also have kicked men out of my apartment for being ugly. If they show up and they are shorter, uglier, fatter, anything different than the way they looked on FaceTime and their profile, and I don't like it, I would straight up be like, you don't look like your profile, like, can you please leave? All this to say, I have given up this method of dating, but I haven't given up leaving men, every man I meet, more hurt than when I found them.
All right, so let's get into this. So, guys, this is what I want you to pay attention to and understand about this video. This is very, very important, right? Because there's a few things happening, but one of the main things that you have to pay attention to is these guys she was interacting with. The problem with this entire situation is that these men went along with what she wanted to do, meaning that she was leading them, right? So she's like, oh, get on the FaceTime. They get on the FaceTime. She's like, oh, come over and we can just hang out and have some tea party with my ferrets or pets or whatever the fuck that she got going on. And these guys, she said, were expecting sex. And then she was like, you know, basically get up out of here. She would invite them into the crib, which means that they would come over to her place. And then if she said if they were ugly, she would right away just get rid of them and so forth and so on, right? So now what's happening here is that she is the one running the show and leading these guys. And this is why I keep trying to tell you guys, this is the type of dating life you're going to have when you are following women. Okay. You should only interact with women on your terms. You should only deal with women who follow your lead. So you should have a plan of how things are going to go. And if she's not following you, you don't fuck with her. Now, also you got to understand in this particular situation, this woman, she's basically saying like, I'm doing this because I hate men, right? I have this hatred towards men. Right. And it's coming out in the interactions that she's having with these guys because it makes her feel good to basically play games with dudes, feel like she has power over the guys and do that type of stuff. And a lot of you guys don't realize that the women that you're interacting with, they don't like you. They don't like men. They got hurt in the past by some dude or they feel some type of way that they're not getting what they want out of the dating game. And so they have this disdain and resentment towards men. Right. And so any woman who has a resentment towards men can't follow a man. You understand what I'm saying? She's not going to follow a man because in order for her to follow a man, she actually needs to like men. She actually needs to respect men in order to follow a man, right? So a lot of times in these situations where women are giving you resistance, giving you that hard time, right? And being uncooperative, it's not just a woman who's just not attracted to you. It's sometimes the woman doesn't like men. She has disdain for dudes. She just really, really hates guys, right? And so this comes out in her interactions with the men that she's, dealing with. So what I'm telling you guys is this. You need to make sure that you are never, ever, ever, ever following a woman, right? You need to make sure the woman is following your lead. Okay. So that means as soon as you talk to this woman, you meet a girl in the street, you meet a girl at a party, at a club, at a bar, you meet a girl online, the women have to follow your lead. Because if you notice in this video, she's like, oh, well, this is how I do things. And, I told him to do that. And all these guys are just doing what she was saying. And they're essentially following some woman who has no respect for them, don't like them at all. If these guys knew how to lead women, right, they would have told her what to do. She wouldn't have done it because she's, she's not, she hates men. She wouldn't have done it. And then they could have left her alone. And this is the funny part. See, as much as women hate men, or I'm not gonna say women, I'm saying women like her hate men, right? If she found a man that she was really attracted to, guess what she would do? She'd follow his lead if he's a leader, right? So all of this other shit that she's talking about, that happens because she's meeting guys who are not leaders. She's meeting guys who don't have game. And this is why you need to have game so you're not caught up in these type of situations when you're dealing with women. All right. So make sure you guys go to shoplocario.com and badboymembership.com and step up your game. That's pretty much it. I'm out of here. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. I'm out.
The dating game sucks for you, doesn't it? I know. And the reason why it sucks is because there's certain things that you don't know about women and dating. And this is why you should get my new audio program, What Men Wish They Knew About Women. In this program, I'm going to be teaching you one big mistake you're making on the first date that puts you directly in the friend zone. I'm going to talk about texting mistakes you're making to turn women off. And I'm also going to teach you how to be the sexually attractive guy that women want to hook up with and or be in a long-term relationship with, and much more. Now, in this program, I have my lady, April MC, and she's going to be telling you the truth from a woman's perspective about what makes a woman attracted to you. All right. So make sure that you go to shoplocario.com right now to get your copy of this audio program. And it's on sale from now up until March 15th. Okay. So make sure you go to shoplocario.com and get your copy today. And that's pretty much it. And I'm out of here, guys. And remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone. I'm out.